For round 13 of the 1985 Formula One World Championship, the circus has returned to Spa. It's the second time they've been here this year, because the race was to have been run in May, only to be cancelled after the practice sessions due to the circuit breaking up. This time the circuit has been resurfaced, but now there's a problem with the weather, because it's been raining hard all morning. The rain has now stopped, and the track is starting to dry, but it's still sufficiently wet for all the cars to be fitted with their wet weather tyres. Alain Prost, the championship leader, is on pole position with Ayrton Senna alongside. Behind them it's Nelson Piquet's Brabham and Michele Alboretto's Ferrari. At the start, watch for Nelson Piquet's Brabham, number 7, because it goes round Prost, as you see it doing so now, only to spin at the first hairpin behind Ayrton Senna, right in front of everybody else. Miraculously, everybody manages to avoid the spinning Brabham. And when the spray dies down, it's Ayrton Senna who's built up an enormous lead already. Alain Prost has come through into second place, Michele Alboretto's Ferrari is third, Nigel Mansell's Williams is fourth, and Stefan Johansson's Ferrari is fifth. Senna continues to set a cracking pace on the wet circuit, but already it's starting to dry out on the other side. Meanwhile, at the back, Nelson Piquet has gathered his car together and started at the tail of the field. Senna leads through the chicane. Prost is second. There's a new third man. Nigel Mansell has gone ahead of Michele Alboretto, so the Ferraris are fourth and fifth, with Alboretto just ahead of teammate Johansson. The first three, Senna, Prost and Mansell, make a break. But Michele Alboretto is in clutch trouble, and he's slipping back. Now Mansell goes ahead of Alain Prost. So it's Lotus first, Williams second, McLaren third. Keke Rosberg, realising that the track is drying out quickly, makes an early stop to put on slick tyres, although the track is still pretty wet for him. Michele Alboretto abandons his Ferrari with clutch trouble. Second in for dry weather tyres is Nelson Piquet, and he continues an excellent drive up the field, which will reward him with fifth place. Stefan Johansson comes in for his tyres, and the Ferrari falls off the jack. It's a disastrously disorganised pit stop. But finally they get all four wheels changed and he rejoins the race, but not for long. On his newly donned dry tyres, the Italian Ghinzani crashes into the barriers. And then Stefan Johansson has spun off on his dry tyres because the track is still wet. He can't restart the car and he's out. Riccardo Patrese also goes very wide and across the grass. Then the first three cars all come in for new tyres: Senna, Mansell and Prost. Mansell comes out of the pits in front of Senna, but Senna fights back. And as they come out of the hairpin on their cold new tyres on the still wet surface, Senna forces his way by. During these pit stops, Elio De Angelis has gone into the lead, but he has his pit stop still to come. That's Berger in the Arrows. He's got a stop to come too. In second place, behind the leading Elio De Angelis, is Thierry Boutsen's Arrows, the Belgian driving in his home Grand Prix. And he doesn't make it easy for Senna to go by, but soon Senna is through. So it's De Angelis first on wet tyres, Senna second, having changed to dries. And Senna very soon is on his teammate's tail. The dry tyres are already quicker than the wets, even though the circuit is still very treacherous. Up Up the hill, Senna goes onto the wet line and takes the lead. Nigel Mansell in third place is immediately behind De Angelis here. And it's not long before Nigel Mansell goes past as well. So the situation is re-established. Ayrton Senna back in the lead after his tyre stop. Nigel Mansell in second place, but Mansell spins on the still wet road. It takes him very little time to restart. Not so lucky is the Frenchman Philippe Alliot, who clouts the barrier very hard in his Ram Hart, and he's comprehensively out of the race. Meanwhile at the front, Mansell is still second, but Keke Rosberg has come through to take third place from Alain Prost. This is Rosberg in 6 and Prost in 2. So now it's Lotus first, Williams Honda second, Williams Honda third, and McLaren fourth. Elio De Angelis' Lotus blows a turbo and retires. Then the rain comes back again. So all the cars are on their dry tyres, and on a circuit which has got oil and rubber from half the race, there's now a further sprinkling of rain. It becomes very treacherous indeed. But Ayrton Senna continues to exercise his superb car control on this difficult surface. Here he is, lapping one of the arrows. The two Williamses are now very close indeed, with Mansell having Rosberg, his own teammate, absolutely breathing down his neck. But then Rosberg suddenly slows. A brake cooling duct on one of his front wheels has come adrift, and he falls back, later to make a pit stop to have it removed. Mansell has his problems too. He runs completely off the road at the top of the hill, but gets back onto the circuit without having done any damage. Ayrton Senna has no such problems. He continues to reel off lap after lap. This is his 43rd and final tour. Behind Mansell in second place, Prost in third place and Rosberg in fourth place after his second pit stop, the Belgian Thierry Boutsen has been holding a gallant fifth place in his arrows. But his car has had mechanical trouble in the closing stages and he has to walk home, to the disappointment of his home crowd. This has promoted Nelson Piquet's Brabham to fifth place after all its earlier troubles, with Derek Warwick sixth. Senna takes his second win of the year, to the delight of the Lotus pit. Nigel Mansell has already taken second place as Alain Prost comes across the line for third. A further boost to his championship position. Rosberg is a distant fourth, with Piquet and Warwick fifth and sixth. Ayrton Senna is delighted with his victory. Alain Prost on the left, Nigel Mansell on the right. The champagne is sprayed as usual, but Mansell is in considerable pain from a torn stomach muscle. His second place is, however, his best ever Grand Prix finish. In the World Championship table, Prost's lead is now 16 points over Alboreto, who of course didn't score in this race. Ayrton Senna now appears in third place, 1 point ahead of his own teammate Elio De Angelis. 3 drivers are now tying for fifth place in the championship: Piquet, Rosberg and Johansson. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren now have a greater lead over Ferrari, but they're still only 6 points apart. Lotus Renault are third.